Alright, this is Marcus Anderson for Battle Creek Game Guide, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the 60-in-1 Jamma vertical video card. There's been a lot of questions about this card recently because people are taking machines like this Dragon Spirit right here. They're taking a machine that has a Jamma board, swapping it out, and for a 60-in-1 system. The boards go for $100 or less, and there's been a lot of questions about them because there are some really kind of weird features about this. The first thing, this is the main menu screen. You can press the first start button, and the start button will then take you into the select or preview menu. Just as a little FYI, I do have a little roll on my monitor on the left hand side here. It allows you to pick which game you want to play, and there are 60 games on this, but there's a little bit of a catch because some of the games have some tweaks to them, so there may not be all of 60. So for example, you'll notice on the first page Ms. Pac-Man is the first game, but if you scroll to the 10th page you'll see Ms. Pac-Man's again with a 2 after it. That means that this is the speed up version. There are 5 different alternative versions of the normal games. There's a Galaga with the rapid fire. Holding down the fire button, it fires quickly. Also, Pac-Man has a speed up mode, Junior Pac-Man has a speed up mode, and Pac-Man Plus is a speed up mode. So technically 5 of the 60 games are actually other alternative versions of those games. At the end of the video, I'm going to go through all 10 pages so you can see what 60 games are on the machine itself, and I'll read those to you. But if you press the fire button, what it will do, it'll play a preview version of it, which is kind of cute. I was first not a fan of the menu system, but having had many parties where people have come over to the house, the menu system is extremely simple and people love to cycle through it. And now I can continue to choose what I want to play. The game that gets the most play out of all these games is Galaga. So choosing the player 1 again, it automatically goes into the game system. It doesn't give you any other choices when you get started. It just chooses 1 player and it goes from there. 2-player option is good too, but one of the biggest compliments about this card is that for $100 you get really all the big heavy hitters for the vertical system. This vertical monitor, it's great. I'm going to kind of lose right now, but one of the biggest detractors is that purists will not dig the sound glitches. In some of the games, some of the sound glitches are extremely prevalent. So you will notice that that is going to be, in the next demo I show you, something where you may just find the game completely unplayable, or like you'll notice that that little thing in your brain is going to keep telling you that it's just not right. So at the end of every game you can go back to the main screen, and you have to die to go back to the main screen, which is good. You can obviously press the 1-player start twice and it'll get you back into this game. This is obviously, I've worked on some of the settings. It does have some nice attract mode here, which is pretty nice. I've worked on the settings so there's no music that plays between the screens. The music is kind of nice, but you'll want to turn that off immediately because it just keeps looping 4 or 5 music measures. But I'm going to press this again to get into the screen, and let's show off. There's a centipede and millipede. The 60-in-1 does have a trackball option. I did not want to rip up my Dragon Spirit machine to put a trackball in, but this is a game that would definitely benefit from it. But as you might see, as it gets into the game, you'll notice that some of the sounds are a little off. And also, one of the more annoying things, and YouTube people, you can get out there and kind of help me with this a little bit. The left side of my screen has kind of a weird roll problem. You can see my ship just completely goes off to the side, and I don't know if that's actually a problem with my monitor or if it's a problem with your 60-in-1 as well. Now, obviously, playing with the joystick's not bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse, I'm sure, but I mean, because it does move pretty quickly, but it's probably not the optimum way to play. There's Centipede and Arkanoid on this game as well, or on this card as well. So that's kind of annoying where you got 3 games that are really built for a trackball, but not too much else would really benefit from that. So it's a real interesting feature. Like, do you want to put the money into that game just for those 3? And believe me, I've toyed about this because I thought about getting a 60-in-1 and put it into like an old Golden Tee cabinet. But for those 3 games and for the kind of shoddy emulation, and it is a little shoddy emulation, like you're not maybe hearing it through the speakers there, but the fleas are not actually sounding just like they normally would. There's some artifacting in the sound when you get to them. I'm going to try to get past to see if I can get... Can't really get to the next level, but especially when you hear your free guide, it really doesn't sound too well. So let me cancel. Let me just try to die due to spider. And the high scores, I gotta be honest with you, I haven't really found the high scores to be effective. I know there's a switch on the inside. I can switch like, yes, I want high score saved, but I personally have not done that. Found like that worked. A lot of the system here, there's supposedly some 60-in-1 A boards and B boards. I think I got the B board, which many people on the Clav forums, or Killer List of Video Games website forums, the Clav forum said that the B board doesn't work as well as the A boards. I really haven't got a straight answer as to what makes one better than the other. But pretty much I'm going to run through the list of games and kind of tell you my experience with them, tell you if they're excellent or there's some known problems. So here we go. On this page, Pac-Man, Galaga, Frogger, and then Donkey Kong Jr., and Donkey Kong 3. All excellent. Haven't really... I mean, these 6 games are wonderful. I have no complaints or problems with those. Galaxian, Dig Dug, Crush Roller, also known as Make Tracks, Mr. Do, Space Invaders, and Pac-Man. Again, solid. Another 6 games that are just perfectly well done. Moving on to the third one, Galaga 3, Gyrus. First one, I noticed a lot of artifacting. You might sound artifacting where you just notice that, oh, the sound's just not quite right. Tank Battalion, it's not really a fun game. It's kind of interesting, but just not that fun. 1942, my friend has played it through completion, really likes it. You can continue to get further on into the game. That's the nice thing, like in Dig Dug, you can kind of go back and keep continuing. Even though it brings you back to the menu, you can go back and just finish the game that way. Ladybug's good, and so is Burger Time. Burger Time gets a lot of play. Mappy also is emulated well, but Centipede and Millipede, nah, I just think you're going to find a lot of things to critique about these two. Junior Pac-Man is good, Pengo is extremely good, and Phoenix is okay. Not a fun game in my opinion, so I can't really say I played it that long. Time Pilot, woo, the sound is terrible on Time Pilot. It just gets so noisy. And the same thing goes with Super Cobra. Ugh, I wish the sound was better on that. Hustler is a bad pool game. Space Panic is like a load runner, but could have been a lot better. Super Breakout, this is another that would benefit from the trackball, but again, it's just not a big draw for me. New Rally X in the vertical positions, interesting. I gotta say I enjoy it more on my 19-in-1, which I also happen to have, and I will make a video on that as well. Arkanoid, again, would be great with the trackball. I don't play much of it because it's practically unplayable with the joystick, because you can't spin to get to those far-reaching ball bounces. Kicks is wonderful, wonderful game. Perfect, great for this on this board. Juno First is okay. Xevious has some sound issues, and others have reported other issues with the game as well. I have not tested it that much. Mr. Do's Castle's great. It's a kind of not a, doesn't get a lot of love, but I really like it. Moon Cresta or Eagle, fantastic. Love this game. Super Pac-Man, probably one of the best ways to emulate it is here. Scramble, again, oh, the sound. Why? Pinball Action, pretty good. I think having the two buttons, one for launch and tilt. I haven't played it that much since I enjoy real pinball. Bomb Jack. This one has the Beatles song in it, the Lady Madonna song. It's not the other version of the ROM where they took the copyrighted song out. But again, you are going to notice some sound artifacts. Great game, just kind of buggy sound. Shaylen's Road is another one of my favorites. I actually played this more on the Commodore 64 than I played it in the arcade. King and Balloon, ugh, I could hardly play it. It was so bad. And bad in terms of like bad game, not bad emulation. 1943, again, another good game. People have completed it. This is Van Car. It's just, will you play this game? Probably not. Pac-Man Plus, a good emulation. No problems here. Dig Dug 2, why would you play this game? It's just so bad. Armadar, another like mediocre game. And Zaxxon. To be honest, I wish I could tell you a little bit more about this. Write in the forums about what you felt about Zaxxon. Let's see, Puyan, bad sound. Great game, bad sound. Again, haven't played Pleiades, Pleidas, ADS, excuse me, Pleiades. I don't even know how to say it. Gunsmoke, so noisy, it's obnoxious. The End, interesting game. Can't say I played it a lot. 1943, Kai, it's okay. Again, you can play it to the very end. It's pretty good. Congo Bongo, pretty good sound, good emulation. Not one of my favorites because of the diagonal of playfield. Jumping Jack is really fun and good emulation. And everything on this last page, all the speed up versions are fantastic. One last thing about this does have an input or an output for a VGA monitor. This is a cathode ray tube monitor you're looking at right there, which is pretty good. One problem I had was that my power supply didn't work in the system, so I had to put a computer power supply with it, which was really nice, so it lights up and everything else is in there, and that's been great. Alright, so I do have a 19-in-1 video that I'm going to post soon, and thank you for watching. Please give good feedback and comments, and please, if I made any mistake, feel free to let me know in the comment threads, and I will try to remedy my mistakes. Thanks.